Hi everyone, welcome to our podcast series, Developing Proposals, How to Create a Strong Case. I'm Ethan.
I'm Val.
I'm Polly.
I'm Mazana.
And I'm Bailey.
Are you a year 2 student in our program? Are you preparing to write a funding proposal for an event? If so, this podcast is for you. In this episode, we will share practical suggestions to help you create a strong proposal based on the course materials and the video from Brightspace 2026 and the Week 3 lecture taught by our professor. We learned this. There are 7 key points that we can make our funding proposal stronger. These key points are program, vision, benefits, deliverable, success criteria, deadline, cost, and the budget.
First step we'll be going over is the problem. And some situations you can encounter is consisting of a weak project design, budgeting issues, ignoring the guidelines, and poor writing and structure. And another factor can be inadequate planning and research. And then in addition, one of the most essentials is that if the problem is solvable and manageable, and it's also important to note that it's the first section read by a reviewer.
Referring to what you just said, Val, it's crucial to show that your plan could overcome existing problems by showing us strong arguments, like, for example, catching the opportunity that was missed or eliminating unnecessary expenses that the company had to cover.
Now that we have identified the problem and explored possible solutions, the next step is to clearly define the direction of our proposal through a strong vision.
A vision statement is meant to set the tone of the proposal towards the goals and actions chosen, at the same time, addressing the larger needs and changes. For our listeners, I know before going to our placements, we had the task of researching our organization or center's vision and mission statement. And I want to ask my fellow speakers, why do you think that was one of our first tasks?
The vision gives us a summarized understanding of the organization it stands for and the direction that they are headed towards. Is that right?
Yeah, exactly. I honestly couldn't have said it better myself. A vision is used as a guide and is needed within developing a proposal as it is the map to the end goal.
I agree. Like understanding the organization's vision shapes the success of the proposal. When I was the co-chair of Wedge Public School, we hosted a dental health workshop for the school community. The school board agreed to provide fundings as it is in line with their philosophy. From this experience, I learned that when applying for funding, it is important to carefully review the funder's background to make sure all the philosophies align with the vision moving in the same direction.
Everything that we just mentioned, meaning the problem and the vision, connects to the benefits, where you create a conceptual picture of what specific benefits your proposal will bring. And those benefits needs to be realistic, measurable, like, for example, a specific cost or benefit that the community will gain from that.
Adding into that, it enters into the delivery. With a delivery, it can be divided into 2 parts, one containing the physical aspect and the other containing the method of your overall delivery. For example, when delivering a message or key point that has physical benefits of a proposal.
I believe measurable success criteria can also increase a proposal's chance of approval. Like, for example, in the Wedge Dental Workshop, we use multiple data sources such as tracking attendance numbers, collecting post-event parent surveys to measure their interest, satisfaction, engagement, and suggestions. We also monitor students' sick leave before and after the workshop. Besides, we examine the data from the City of Ottawa, like a public health annual school dental screening, and compare the results from the previous years to identify is any improvement or positive impact.
You make a great point about evaluating the success of the workshop. To add on, no matter how good the solution, the work plan or budget is, if we miss that deadline, all our efforts could go to waste.
I have an experience in a private sector, meaning that, for example, we had to organize events for a client. And from my experience, I have to say that there was an additional element that was very important, and that refers to deadlines. So You have to have a deadline for each stage of your plan, and that deadlines needs to include also deadlines for your subcontractors and vendors. And as we talk in a class, deadlines are very important and heavily related to funding.
Yeah, speaking of deadlines, I know within budgeting there are deadlines to acquire and accept the offers made. Can anyone go into further detail about the budgeting process?
Yes, yeah, absolutely. The cost and the budget are two really important, crucial components to show a funding plan. The funders expect a clear explanation of how the project, how much it will cost, supported by the detail and the budget.
Yes, I agree with Val. Like during our PRO grant application for the dental workshop, we clearly listed all the estimated cost for food and refreshments, as well as the gift cards for the guest speaker. Because the school provided the library space in at no cost and help us set up all the tables and the chairs.
Most importantly, all activities and job positions that need to be paid need to be in the budget. Anything that was not listed cannot be plugged after the budget was approved. And what I learned from the readings, you also have to be prepared to reduce your budget, even though it was approved already. And you cannot ask more money than you need, because that can be seen as unethical.
Okay, thank you everyone for breaking down the 7 steps and including your own personal experiences. For our student listeners, we hope this breakdown of the 7 steps has helped introduce the process of developing a proposal. Before this discussion comes to an end, I wanted to take a moment to reflect. Who would like to go first?
Thanks, Holly. I can go first. Throughout this conversation, as Holly mentioned, we discussed the 7 steps of how to create a fundamental proposal. However, for me, I use similar steps in my work experience every day. For example, I work in retail, and there are many occasions where I need to solve problems, working with budgets, and discuss how to solve that issue, which is why I find that fundamental proposals is a key asset to our learning, as it acts as a structure that benefits transform ideas within any job or position.
Yes, just to keep it in mind, everyone is different. But at the same time, we all have a lot of similarities. For example, we all research the funding, look at the successful past applications, check the organization's background, create a detailed work plan, and regularly check to make sure everything is on track. But also, there's a lot of difference, such as target audience, the timeline, and the expected outcome are all different.
To add on, I really enjoyed talking about our experiences and exploring in detail each of the 7 steps. And I believe this will be kind of really beneficial in my future, as I haven't had an opportunity to do a development proposal, and as an EC and other work in the field, I believe I can make a difference, and we really hope this helps students in being successful in the course.
After sharing our views, to me the most important fact is that any successful proposal refers to the ability of gathering and organizing information and communicating it in a very clear and useful way, and also needs to align with the long-term goals of the organization and bring some measurable profit.
For me, when given the task of explaining a proposal, I felt unsure of where to begin, as it seemed to be such a broad topic. But after breaking it down into 7 steps, that really benefited my understanding of how all the pieces fit together to develop a successful and effective proposal. And I feel like our student listeners might be on the same page as me.
Thanks, guys, for everyone participating in this conversation, and thank you for our student listeners for dropping in. Please join us next time.